Okay, good morning. We
Good
are
morning.
with another school board candidate, Bianca Anderson, and she is running for, is it place 5?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so we're just going to have a short little 10-minute conversation here and learn a little bit about you. But if you could kind of just start and let us know how long you've been in the Mansfield School District area.
Sure. Well, I was born and raised here in Texas. I was born in Oak Cliff and was there for quite a few years. And then my family and I moved to DeSoto, to where my mom and dad still live today. And it was my oldest child, to whom is now 29. She was getting ready to finish her 6th grade year, and my husband and I decided we needed to find a good school system. And so, me being raised kind of in Dallas and him being raised kind of Tarrant County, we were trying to find something in between. So, we started doing a lot of research on school systems, a lot of research on the ratings and communities surrounding it. And we looked Keller, we looked Colleyville, Grapevine, all the way Arlington, Mansfield, etc. And that's when we moved to Mansfield, 2004, I believe, so almost 18 years ago.
Okay.
And I was actually commuting back and forth for her to finish out the last few
Oh,
weeks of school. And then she started school here at Brooks Wester, her 7th grade year. And we've been here ever since. And we have 3 more children that are in the school system. So, and they're typically in 3 different schools. Right now, we have 2 in high school, but they go not only to Mansfield High School, but also to Ben Barber. And then we have
okay.
a daughter that is at Mary Orr in 6th grade.
Wow. Okay. So you still have a little ways to go yet.
I know. I was thankful to be out of elementary school.
So when you look at whether it's public education overall or our school district, what do you feel some of the major issues are that we're being faced with today?
I think there's 3 to 4 kind of across the board, I would say, opportunities. One being academic opportunities. And don't mean, I mean for everyone, for special needs that actually have disabilities, all the way to special needs of the gifted and talented. And that was the first thing that really came to my mind. And really, I started thinking about the school board a lot more, as far as like just getting um, to know all the policies and being there, and from about 2020. And then I think the second is, of course, teacher retention. I've noticed from 2017, 2018 year, we were in the top 3 all the time, whether it was first year to 15 years to 25 years. And we decreasingly went down to now, and some places we're 15th place. So there's, of course, that. And then finally, safety. And I don't mean just safety, having doors or locked and badges on, but I also mean mental safety as well. And that's for both the teachers, the staff, and the children. So those are the 3 things that I think really stick out to me here. And Mansfield actually has done a really great job. They do really try to look at every opportunity. I know for me, when it started kind of with gaps, if you will, they really, when I spoke at the school board, they actually did something about it. And so each time we have something kind of go on, they immediately try to respond. And I do think that that's really great of our city, that we moved here 18 years ago because of that, and it still continues today.
Okay. Is there anything specific in your background that you feel kind of gives you that experience in order to tackle some of these issues?
Sure. Well, first and foremost, I'm a mom of 4, and 3 are still in the school system. And I do think that that obviously helps for day to day of knowing what's going on and learning about it. And then, of course, going to school board meetings and speaking and actually listening and then responding, of course. But really, my background is in business. In my 30s, I do have a master's degree. I ran in my 30s, I ran $600 million worth of business, and all the way to late 30s, early 40s, working for the world's largest luxury goods company and running 15 states for them, which is Mont Hennessy, Louis Vuitton. So I do think I have a lot of business sense and acumen that I bring to the table. And I do feel like I can help look at things objectively because I do a lot of research first and then take notes and then move forward from there. So I do think that I have a lot of that to bring and the knowledge at the table to look at it comparatively and then move forward and help the board as a whole, because it takes all of us to move past. So
That's true. That's true. So do you feel that your business background is your differentiator between the other candidates, or is it something different?
I do think that my business acumen and flexibility, when I started thinking about going onto the school board, it's been probably a year of praying and educators and parents asking me to do so, that it actually gave me the time. I started getting out of business and actually consulting. So I think that I know that was God's just his way of telling me it's time for you to step up, Bianca. So that's what I did.
So what was your, the reason why you decided to run? Was there something specific or?
There's a few things actually.
Okay.
Well, so 2020, as I stated, I was the first time I went and spoke at the school board, although I had been watching them online for quite a while. Sorry, I'm getting emotional, but
It's okay.
it was actually my middle daughter. We just came back from the 6 weeks of being virtual, and the second day of school, she was quarantined, and that's when they were doing contact tracing, and so about over 40 kids were out for one child. And I started noticing that her grades, she was getting assignments, and her grades, she was coming in, and of course she's an excellent student. So when I say go down, they're not going down a whole bunch, but they're going from a high A to a low A. And I started realizing something mentally was wrong with her. And then I went into her room, and she had papers basically saying the devil was attacking her. And so I thought, for a child that does so well in school, what is going on with all of these other students that are out? And if they can't do very well at school, or they have some challenges. So that's when I went to the school board and asked them to turn back on the cameras, so that these kids that were on quarantine weren't just getting assignments and quizzes and tests without any instruction. Then it's up to them to log on to each class period and for them to watch, the classes and be able to interact with the students and the teacher. And they did that. And then that started kind of, okay, how can I dig in? How can I help? I gave a solution. They did take it. Fast forward to the end of that year, and she wanted to get ahead. She's probably my highest achieving child, and her goal is to graduate in 3 years. And at that time, she wanted to be valedictorian. So we started trying to get her classes in the summer. Well, we have beautiful academic opportunities for people that maybe don't pass or need to make up, different assignment, or not assignments, but classes. But when you want to get ahead, you can only take one class. And I couldn't figure out why. And so, we got with the system, and they helped generously. And so she was able to take 2 classes. Then we had to figure out, well, can she even graduate in 3 years and be valedictorian? And it took a lot of digging into. And I was telling the gentleman, if you don't know, definitely the counselors don't know. That means the kids and the parents don't know. And so I just started realizing, okay, we have some academic gaps. I already had some friends that were in the special ed department. We had already been talking about those gaps. And now I'm finding out they're actually kids that want to, move on and achieve higher. We have some gaps. And so that's when it really started to hit me of, okay, what else? And then I had several of my friends starting to retire. And they were just like, obviously, COVID all around, your mental state. But it was not only that, but, obviously they were talking a little bit about pay, and their insurance was so high, and parents, overloading them. And so so then I thought, okay, we have a few things here, and I know it's going on everywhere. It's not just Mansfield, but I thought,
Right.
how can I make a difference? How can I continue to make a difference? If I can help do it with my kid, how can I do it with all the other children? I mean, we have over 35,000 students and
Mhm.
almost 5,000 employees. And so, then it was from there that, some of my friends that are educators and they run different departments started really like, you need to run. And so that's what started on my heart. And I started praying about it. And so here I am today. That's how I got here.
So
It's a
now
long, long
you're in
winded
it
answer.
now, huh?
That's right. That's it.
Well, thank you for the story. I think that's interesting, and I appreciate your candor there. Um, we're going to end it on that. I think that's a great note to end it on, and just remind everybody that the school board candidate forum that the chamber is going to hold will be April the 7th, and then we're going to do a luncheon April the 28th, where everybody can come out, and we're going to kind of do a round table. They'll be able to ask each of you questions and talk to you and get to meet you face to face. So we do have those
Fantastic.
two things coming up. Again, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank
And we
you.
will see you soon.
Okay. Have a great day.
Okay, thanks a
Bye
lot.
bye.
Bye-bye.